Alex Carter had spent most of his life surrounded by machines. As a human engineer, he had fixed everything from small drones to massive starship engines. But nothing in his experience had prepared him for this mission. He floated slowly down the narrow corridors of the research station, his boots clicking softly against the metallic floor. The station orbited a bright blue-green planet untouched by humans or aliens before. Its surface shimmered with strange plants that glowed faintly in the twilight. Alex had been sent here to assist the alien research team with their experimental anti-gravity device, a machine that could change the way humans traveled through space. The station was quiet that morning, except for the hum of the engines and the occasional beep from a control panel. Alex stopped in front of the lab where the device was kept. The room was larger than most labs he had seen, filled with floating tools, holographic displays, and a mattress-like sheet that glimmered faintly. It was designed for alien bodies, soft but resilient, able to absorb energy and motion. He glanced around, making sure the lab was empty. That's when he noticed her. Dr. Lyra. She stood near the anti-gravity device, her long, graceful arms adjusting a series of intricate panels. Her skin shimmered faintly in the dim light, and her eyes were a striking amber color that seemed to see through him. Lyra was well known among humans for her intelligence, but she also carried an air of mystery. Most humans found her intimidating, almost untouchable, but Alex had a habit of looking past first impressions. "Good morning," he said, trying to sound calm. His voice sounded strangely small in the vast room. Lyra turned slowly, her eyes narrowing for just a moment. Then a faint smile appeared. "Ah, the human engineer," she said, her voice soft but precise. "I suppose you've come to understand how our device works." Alex nodded. "I'm here to help, but I have to admit it's all a little complicated." Lyra's smile widened slightly, though she did not laugh. "Complicated, perhaps? But that is why we need humans like you." She stepped closer, her movements fluid and confident. "Your species is unpredictable. That is something even logic cannot always account for." Alex blinked. "Unpredictable?" "Yes," Lyra replied, tilting her head. "You think in ways we cannot always anticipate. That can be dangerous or useful. Perhaps both." Before Alex could respond, a sharp alarm echoed through the lab. Red lights flashed, casting jagged shadows across the walls. The anti-gravity device had activated unexpectedly, and objects began to float around the room. Alex's heart jumped. He rushed forward to stabilize the controls, but the device had a mind of its own. Tools and small machinery hovered mid-air, spinning slowly, then darting unpredictably. He reached for a panel, but a floating wrench bounced off his shoulder. Lyra watched silently, her amber eyes calm, as Alex flailed. Then, in a move so fast he barely registered, she pulled him down onto the glowing mattress-like sheet. The sudden motion made Alex stumble, but Lyra held him gently, laughing softly. "Stay still," she commanded, though her laugh softened the tone. "You must experience the device fully. Otherwise, how will you understand it?" Alex tried to stand, but she held him firmly, refusing to let go. I can fix it from here," he said, struggling lightly. "No," Lyra said, shaking her head. "You must be here, human. It is the only way." He looked up at her, bewildered. She did not look harsh or angry, only amused. Her laughter was soft and musical, and there was a spark of curiosity in her eyes that made Alex hesitate. For a moment, the chaos around them, the floating tools, the blinking lights, the hum of unstable energy, faded into the background. He realized something important. Lyra was not trying to scare him.
She was teaching him.
She wanted him to understand not just the device, but how humans reacted to situations that even advanced aliens could not predict. "Okay," he muttered, surrendering. He lay flat on the sheet, letting her hold him in place. It felt strange at first, unnatural even, but soon he noticed the mattress absorbing his movements, supporting him in a way no human bed ever could. Lyra knelt beside him, her hands adjusting a floating control panel. "See," she said softly. "This is how the device responds to human weight, human motion, human intuition. Most of our species would panic. You adapt." Alex felt a flush of pride. "Adapt?" "Yes," Lyra replied. "Humans are flexible. You adjust in ways machines cannot predict." "It is remarkable," he swallowed hard. He had never been praised like this by anyone, let alone an alien genius. The thought made him nervous but also proud. The mattress shifted beneath him as Lyra demonstrated how the device absorbed kinetic energy. She laughed softly again, this time at something he said, though he wasn't sure what. Her laughter was not mocking. It was genuine, light, and surprisingly comforting. Alex found himself studying her as she worked. Her species had a natural elegance, but it was not just her movements. It was her attention to detail, her focus, and her quiet fascination with human unpredictability. Humans often underestimated themselves, he realized, but Lyra did not. She seemed to understand that humans were capable of things even the most advanced alien species could not imagine. Hours passed in what felt like minutes. The anti-gravity device stabilized gradually, and the floating tools returned to their places. Alex finally sat up, feeling a bit dizzy but exhilarated. He looked at Lyra, who still knelt beside the mattress, her smile calm but playful. "You did well," she said softly. "Most humans would have panicked completely. You did not." Alex shrugged, unsure how to respond. "I guess I just tried to keep up." Lyra's amber eyes softened. "You do more than keep up. You teach. You remind us that logic alone is not enough. Intuition, improvisation. These are your strengths." He felt a strange warmth in his chest. No one had ever spoken to him this way. Not about his skills. Not about him as a person. And from an alien, it felt extraordinary. Just as he opened his mouth to say something, Lyra reached out, adjusting a panel above the mattress. The sudden movement made Alex slip slightly, and she instinctively pulled him down again, laughing softly. "Careful, human," she said, her laugh light and musical. "I cannot let you fall." "You must experience fully." Alex blinked. He realized something important. This wasn't just about technology. Lyra was teaching him respect for his own abilities, and showing that humans could contribute in ways even advanced aliens could not predict. He felt a bond forming, a connection that was more than curiosity or work. Lyra's laughter, her insistence on keeping him down, her attention to his every movement, it made him feel seen, in a way he never had before. By the time the lab settled and the alarm stopped, Alex knew one thing for certain: this mission would change his life. Not because of the anti-gravity device alone, but because of Lyra. For the first time, he understood something deeper about humans. They were more than their technology, their limits, or their small worlds. They were curious, adaptable, and resilient. And sometimes, they could teach aliens just as much as aliens could teach them. Lyra stood up, brushing her hands over her lab coat-like garment. Her eyes met his, amber glowing faintly in the soft light. "Tomorrow," she said softly, "we continue. You will show me more about your kind." "I am curious." "Very curious," Alex nodded, heart racing. I'll be ready." Lyra laughed softly again, a sound that lingered in the lab like a warm breeze, and though he was exhausted, Alex felt a thrill of excitement. The human heart was unpredictable, yes, but perhaps that was its greatest strength. As he floated back to his quarters, Alex knew that this was just the beginning. The anti-gravity device was only part of the story. The real adventure was Lyra, and the strange, powerful connection forming between human and alien. And he had no idea how far it would take him. The next morning, Alex woke to the soft hum of the station. The corridors glowed with pale blue light, and the planet below sparkled with a strange alien beauty. He rubbed his eyes and recalled the events of the previous day. Lyra's laughter echoed in his mind, the way she had pulled him down onto the glowing mattress and refused to let go. He smiled faintly. He had never imagined that an alien could find amusement in human unpredictability, or that he could inspire such curiosity. By the time he reached the lab, Lyra was already there, adjusting the anti-gravity device with precise, careful movements. She looked up as he entered, her amber eyes bright. "Ah, human," she said softly, almost teasing. "Ready to continue your lesson in unpredictability?" Alex grinned. "I think I'm ready. Hopefully I won't get pulled down again. Too often." Lyra laughed softly, a sound that reminded him of a gentle wind. "Perhaps not. But it is necessary. Observation is key. Experience, even more so." Alex approached the device. This time the anti-gravity field had stabilized somewhat, but the floating tools still hovered unpredictably. He noticed subtle shifts in the air, changes in energy flow, things that Lyra did not see immediately. "Human intuition," Lyra said quietly, noticing him pause. "You already notice patterns that my sensors do not detect." Alex shrugged, feeling a mix of pride and humility. "I don't know. I just notice things, maybe because humans are used to improvising. Lyra studied him closely. Yes, you adapt. You adjust. That is why I must observe you. She stepped closer, then paused, tilting her head. And why I must occasionally keep you grounded. Before he could question her, a tool floated too close to the energy mattress, its trajectory unstable. Instinctively, Alex reached for it, but Lyra's hand was faster. She pulled him down gently onto the sheet again, laughing softly. Careful, she said. You cannot rush. You must feel the field, understand the balance. Alex laughed nervously, lying back on the glowing surface. Each time Lyra held him in place, he learned something new. Not just about the device, but about himself. He realized that humans were capable of adapting in ways even advanced aliens could not predict. Hours passed as they worked together. Lyra demonstrated the delicate mechanisms of the anti-gravity field, and Alex applied his human ingenuity to solve small problems that the alien logic had overlooked. See, Lyra said, adjusting a control panel. Your solution is unconventional, but effective. Your species relies on improvisation, on creativity. Alex felt a rush of pride. I guess humans can surprise even the smartest aliens. Lyra's amber eyes softened almost fondly. Indeed, you are remarkable. Their collaboration became a rhythm. Lyra explained the precise logical steps needed to maintain the device, while Alex suggested small adjustments based on instinct and observation. Sometimes Lyra would pull him down onto the mattress when he tried to stand, laughing softly, insisting he must stay and learn from every movement. Alex noticed something unusual. Lyra did not seem frustrated when the device misbehaved or when he made mistakes. She observed calmly, corrected gently, and then, when needed, held him in place with a playful insistence. By midday, a connection had formed. It was not just professional, it was personal. They respected each other's skills, yes, but there was a curiosity and warmth that neither could ignore. Alex felt seen in a way he rarely had. Lyra saw not only his mind, but his spirit, his courage, and his adaptability. During a break, Alex floated near a viewport, gazing down at the planet. It's beautiful, he said softly. Lyra joined him, her amber eyes reflecting the glow of the surface below. Yes, she said. It is and full of potential, much like your species. Humans have unpredictability, curiosity, persistence, qualities my species admires yet does not fully possess. Alex blinked. You mean humans are special? Lyra's lips curved into a soft smile. Special, yes. Not because you are stronger or smarter in the traditional sense, but because your minds and hearts work in ways we cannot replicate. Your species survives where others might fail, adapts where others might break. And sometimes, she paused, her gaze steady on his, sometimes humans teach aliens something they cannot learn from logic alone. Alex felt a warmth spread through him. He had faced countless machines and problems in his life, but no praise had ever felt like this, genuine, acknowledging not just his skill but his humanity. The anti-gravity device suddenly sparked, a bright flash illuminating the lab. Tools floated erratically again. Alex reached for a panel, but Lyra's hand caught his arm. Stay down, she commanded softly, laughing lightly. Feel it, learn it. Only when you understand fully can you act. He obeyed, lying on the mattress, feeling the energy shift beneath him. The floating tools seemed to respond to his movements, and slowly, with guidance from Lyra, the room regained calm. That was impressive, Lyra said, helping him sit up. You adapted without panic. Most beings would have frozen. You did not. Alex shook his head. I didn't feel like I was doing anything special. I was just trying to keep up. Lyra tilted her head, studying him. That is precisely why you succeed. You do not rely only on logic or training. You adapt. You improvise. You survive. Alex laughed softly, realizing that she did not mean to flatter him. She was stating a fact. Humans were capable of remarkable things, and she admired it. For the next few hours, they continued their work. Sometimes Lyra would pull him down onto the sheet again, laughing softly when he resisted. Sometimes Alex would discover solutions she had not considered, prompting a rare flicker of surprise in her amber eyes. By evening, the lab was quiet. The device had stabilized and the floating tools rested in their designated spots. Alex felt a sense of accomplishment unlike any he had felt before. Not only had he helped repair an advanced alien machine, but he had demonstrated that human ingenuity could match, even surpass, alien precision. Lyra watched him for a moment, her gaze thoughtful. Tomorrow we will push the device further. You will test it in ways my species has never attempted. Are you prepared? Alex nodded, feeling a thrill of excitement and nervousness. I'll do my best, Lyra smiled softly, stepping closer. Good. Humans are capable of great things, Alex. You must never forget that. And I must see it for myself again and again. She laughed lightly, the sound echoing in the lab like music. Then, almost playfully, she reached out and pulled him down onto the mattress one last time for the day, holding him there with a gentle insistence. Alex laughed, realizing he was no longer resisting. It was strange but comforting. He felt safe, respected, and challenged all at once. And through it all, he understood something vital. Humans were extraordinary not because of their strength, technology, or knowledge alone, but because of their adaptability, courage, and willingness to face the unknown. Lyra's laughter, her soft insistence, and her gentle corrections were more than teaching. They were recognition. Recognition of the human spirit, the ingenuity that had allowed their species to explore the stars and survive against impossible odds. As Alex floated back to his quarters that evening, he reflected on the day. He had learned not just about anti-gravity devices, but about himself, about the value of human creativity, and about the strange, growing bond between himself and Lyra. The universe was vast and full of wonders, many of which he did not yet understand. But he knew this. Wherever humans went, they brought something special, something worth noticing, something worth respecting. And sometimes even the most brilliant aliens could not help but marvel at it. And in the quiet of his quarters, Alex smiled softly. Lyra's laughter and her insistence on holding him close were no longer strange. They were part of a lesson he would carry forever. Humans were special, adaptable, resilient, and sometimes that meant showing aliens a side of the universe they could never have imagined. And tomorrow, he would continue teaching and learning once again. The morning air in the research station felt electric, charged with anticipation. Alex floated through the corridors, his mind buzzing. Today, Lyra had promised a new kind of challenge, one that would test not just his understanding of the anti-gravity device, but his ability to think like a human in unpredictable situations. The lab was already alive with movement when he arrived. Tools hovered in neat formations, waiting to respond to the anti-gravity field. Lyra stood in the center, her amber eyes scanning the room, calculating adjustments with the precision only her species could manage. Human, she said softly, a hint of amusement in her tone. Today we will see if your species can solve problems beyond logic. Alex frowned. Beyond logic? Yes, she replied, stepping closer. The device can function with calculations alone. But we are not bound by certainty. Chaos exists in the universe. Humans face it daily, and yet, you thrive. You adapt. That is what I want to see. Before he could ask what she meant, the alarm system blared. The sensors on the planet below had detected a rogue energy storm, moving faster than predicted. It was heading straight for the station and a nearby alien research colony. Lyra's amber eyes narrowed. If the storm hits at full force, the station could be damaged. The colony may be destroyed. Alex felt his heart race. This was more serious than any experiment. What can we do? He asked. Lyra turned, her gaze sharp. The theoretical solution is impossible. My calculations cannot prevent total destruction. But perhaps you can. Alex stared at her. Me, how? You think differently. Humans do not rely only on theory. You improvise. You create solutions from nothing. That is why I keep you close, human. You must show me how your species thinks. The gravity of the situation hit Alex, but he nodded. Okay, I'll try. Lyra led him to a console where the anti-gravity field could be modified. We must build a temporary shield for the station and colony. You will use the materials available in the lab. Precision is not enough. It must respond dynamically to chaos. Alex glanced around. The lab contained leftover panels, energy conduits, and the mattress-like sheet he had grown familiar with. An idea sparked. He could combine the energy-absorbing properties of the mattress with the anti-gravity field to create a flexible, adaptive shield. I think I have an idea, he said. Starting to arrange materials, Lyra observed silently, her amber eyes narrowing in curiosity. Every move he made, every choice he considered, she watched. Then, as Alex reached for a floating panel, she pulled him down onto the mattress with a gentle laugh. "Careful," she said softly. "You must understand fully before acting." "Experience it," Alex chuckled, lying back. "I think I've experienced enough to know what I'm doing." Lyra tilted her head, her laugh soft and musical. "Experience is never enough, human. You will learn more by staying grounded." With her guidance, Alex began to assemble the components. Panels interlocked with energy conduits, and the mattress-like sheet became a core layer that could absorb and redistribute the storm's energy. He moved quickly but carefully, improvising connections Lyra had never considered. "This is unconventional," Lyra whispered, "but it may work." Hours passed in tense silence, broken only by the hum of the anti-gravity field and Lyra's occasional soft laughter, when Alex narrowly avoided a floating tool. The storm's approach accelerated, the station's sensors flashing warnings with increasing urgency. Finally, Alex completed the structure. "It's ready," he said, his voice steady despite his racing heart. Lyra studied it carefully. "Remarkable," she admitted. "Your solution relies not on calculation, but on intuition and adaptability. Very human. I did not anticipate this." Alex felt a surge of pride. For the first time, he realized that his species' unpredictability was not a weakness, but a strength. Humans could improvise, adapt, and face chaos with courage that even advanced aliens struggled to match. Suddenly, the storm hit. Energy surged across the planet's surface, and the station shuddered under the force. Tools floated wildly, alarms blared, and the lights flickered. "Now," Lyra commanded, her voice calm but urgent. Alex activated the shield. The mattress-like core absorbed the initial impact, redistributing energy through the panels and conduits. The structure flexed and shifted, adjusting dynamically to the storm's unpredictable patterns. Lyra watched, impressed. "Incredible," she whispered. "It responds as you intended, humans. You adapt to chaos better than we calculate it." For several tense minutes, Alex adjusted minor connections, responding instinctively to fluctuations in the field. Lyra's hand occasionally steadied his, pulling him down onto the mattress softly, laughing, reminding him to remain focused and grounded. Finally, the storm passed. The station system stabilized, and the colony below transmitted a message of thanks. They had survived untouched. Alex leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. He glanced at Lyra, whose amber eyes were bright with admiration. "We did it," he said softly. "Yes," she replied, her smile soft and genuine. "Together. But do not forget, it was your human ingenuity that saved them. Your species thrives where pure logic might fail." Alex felt a deep sense of pride. Lyra's recognition was more than professional approval. It was respect. For the first time, he realized that humans were special, not because of brute strength or technology, but because of their adaptability, courage, and creativity. Lyra stepped closer, her hand brushing his arm. "Tomorrow we will continue testing," she said softly. "You will show me more of what humans can do, and I will continue to learn from you." Alex smiled, feeling a warmth he could not explain. Lyra's soft laughter, her insistence on keeping him grounded, and her quiet admiration had become a source of strength for him. He had faced many challenges in his life, but this was unlike anything before. As he left the lab, floating through the quiet corridors, Alex reflected on the events of the day. He had seen firsthand how humans could rise to meet impossible odds. He had witnessed the impact of unpredictability, intuition, and courage. And he had felt the growing bond between himself and Lyra, a connection built on respect, trust, and mutual curiosity. He entered his quarters, looking out at the planet below. Its glowing forests and rivers reminded him of the challenges humans had faced in their own history. Survival against odds, exploration of the unknown, and discovery of new possibilities. And he realized something important. The universe was vast, full of unpredictable dangers and wonders, and humans were capable of thriving in ways no one could have predicted. Lyra's voice echoed in his mind, soft and teasing. "You must experience it fully, human. Only then will you understand." He smiled, understanding her words in a way he had not before. Experiencing chaos, facing danger, and trusting his instincts, these were what made humans extraordinary. and sometimes it took an alien perspective to truly see it. As the station's lights dimmed for the artificial night cycle, Alex lay down on his bunk thinking of the glowing mattress, the floating tools, and Lyra's soft laughter. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new tests, and new lessons. But he felt ready. Humans had survived against impossible odds before, and now he was proving that even among the stars, humans could shine in ways no alien could ignore. And as he drifted to sleep, he understood one more thing. Lyra's insistence on keeping him close, laughing softly and refusing to let go, was not just a lesson in technology. It was a lesson in trust, collaboration, and recognition of humanity's true power. The universe was full of challenges, but humans had something unique, something extraordinary, and Alex was ready to show it again tomorrow. The station floated silently above the glowing planet, its systems running smoothly after the storm had passed. Alex Carter awoke with a sense of anticipation. The events of the previous days had changed something inside him. He no longer felt like just another human engineer assigned to a difficult mission. He felt like a vital part of something bigger. He made his way to the lab, his footsteps echoing softly in the metallic corridor. Lyra was already there, standing beside the anti-gravity device, her amber eyes fixed on the floating panels. She turned as he entered, her expression warm yet serious. "Good morning, human," she said softly. "Today we will explore the final stage. You will test the device in ways neither your species nor mine has attempted." Alex felt a rush of excitement and nervousness. The past days had been challenging, but he had learned much about human ingenuity and about himself. He knew that whatever Lyra had planned would push him further, both mentally and physically. "Ready?" she asked, a faint smile playing on her lips. "As ready as I'll ever be," Alex replied, stepping forward. The lab was alive with soft hums of energy. Tools floated neatly in formation, while the mattress-like sheet glimmered with a faint golden light, absorbing the subtle fluctuations of the anti-gravity field. Today, Alex knew, he would be more than just a problem solver. He would show Lyra, and perhaps himself, what humans could truly achieve. The first test was simple. Adjust the anti-gravity field to stabilize multiple floating panels simultaneously. But Lyra added a twist. She introduced small disturbances, simulating environmental chaos. Panels spun unpredictably, some accelerating toward him unexpectedly. Instinctively, Alex moved, predicting trajectories and counteracting the disturbances. But when a panel flew too close, Lyra's hand caught him and pulled him down onto the mattress with her usual soft laughter. "Careful, human," she said, holding him steady. "Experience it fully. Learn from it." Alex lay on the glowing sheet, feeling the mattress absorb the energy and guide him through the chaos. For the first time, he realized that her laughter and insistence were not just playful. They were teaching him to trust his instincts while staying grounded. Hours passed as they worked together. Each test became progressively harder, demanding more of Alex's creativity and adaptability. Lyra continued to guide him with gentle corrections, sometimes pulling him down, sometimes letting him move freely. The rhythm between them became effortless, a balance of trust and challenge. Finally, they reached the ultimate test. Lyra explained it with a quiet intensity. "The device must project a shield over the colony below. The storm is returning, faster than before. The shield must adjust dynamically to energy fluctuations, pressure waves, and unpredictable variables. Only a human mind can solve this." Alex's heart raced. This was no ordinary challenge, it was a life-or-death test. But he felt ready. He studied the device, the mattress, and the floating panels. Then, almost instinctively, he began connecting components, improvising paths for energy to flow, and reinforcing weak points with materials from the lab. Lyra watched closely, her amber eyes narrowing in focus. "Human ingenuity at work," she whispered. "I did not anticipate this." As the storm hit the planet again, the station shook violently. Panels spun, alarms blared, and energy surged unpredictably. Alex activated the shield, and for a tense moment, nothing seemed to happen. But then the mattress-like core absorbed the initial impact, redistributing energy through the panels and conduits. The shield expanded outward, adjusting dynamically to the chaotic storm. Lyra's gaze softened as she observed. "Humans, you adapt where logic cannot. You survive where calculation might fail." The shield held. The colony below transmitted a message of relief. Energy readings stabilized and the station's alarms ceased. Alex exhaled, exhausted but triumphant. He looked at Lyra, whose amber eyes gleamed with admiration. "You did it," she said softly. "You humans are extraordinary. Not because of brute strength or speed, but because of courage, intuition, and adaptability. You faced chaos and prevailed, and you inspire even the most precise of our kind." Alex smiled, feeling a warmth in his chest. This recognition meant more than words could express. Lyra had seen him, not just his skills, but his spirit. And she respected it. For a long moment, they stood together, observing the calm aftermath of the storm. Then Lyra laughed softly, her hand brushing his arm in a gesture of gentle camaraderie. "Tomorrow we will continue refining the device," she said, teasing lightly. "But today you have taught me much about your kind, and I will not forget it." Alex nodded, feeling a mix of pride and humility. He had faced impossible odds, solved problems beyond prediction, and learned the truth of what made humans special. Lyra's laughter, her insistence on keeping him grounded, and her soft corrections had guided him, not just in technology, but in understanding the power of human adaptability. Later, as they floated toward the observation deck, Alex gazed at the planet below. Its forests shimmered in alien light, rivers glowed faintly, and mountains stretched across the horizon like jagged jewels. He thought about the countless challenges humans had faced on Earth: natural disasters, exploration, survival against impossible odds. And now he realized humans were proving their resilience even among the stars. Lyra joined him silently, her amber eyes reflecting the beauty of the world below. "You have shown me that humans are remarkable," she said softly. "Not just in intellect, but in courage and heart, in the ability to face the unknown and adapt." "I am grateful." Alex felt a lump in his throat. I thank you, Lyra, for believing in me, for helping me see what humans can do." She smiled softly, stepping closer. "It was not only my guidance, human. You led the way. You taught me what it means to trust in unpredictability, to rely on intuition, to adapt in the face of chaos. That is uniquely human." Alex's heart swelled. He realized that Lyra's soft laughter, her gentle insistence on keeping him close, and her quiet admiration were more than playful gestures. They were acknowledgement of his species' true strength. Humans were capable of amazing things, and she had witnessed it firsthand. As the artificial night cycle began on the station, they remained on the observation deck, watching the twin suns dip below the horizon of the alien planet. Alex felt a sense of peace, accomplishment, and deep respect for Lyra, and for himself as a human. "Tomorrow," Lyra said softly, her hand brushing his arm once more, "we continue. But today you rest, and remember, humans are extraordinary. Your species thrives where others might fail." Alex smiled, feeling warmth spread through him. "I'll remember," he said softly, "and I'll keep proving it." Lyra laughed softly, the sound lingering in the air like a gentle melody. She stepped back, but her presence remained a comforting reassurance. For Alex, it was clear. Humans had a place in the universe, not just as explorers or engineers, but as beings capable of extraordinary resilience, ingenuity, and heart. As he floated back to his quarters, Alex reflected on the journey. From the first day he had arrived on the station, Lyra had challenged him, guided him, and pulled him down onto the mattress in moments of chaos and laughter. At first he had felt awkward, unsure of her intentions. But now he understood. It was more than training. It was recognition, respect, and trust. Humans were extraordinary. They thrived against the impossible, adapted when others would fail, and brought qualities to the universe that even advanced aliens could not replicate. And in Lyra's eyes, Alex had proven that humanity's strength lay not only in technology or knowledge, but in courage, adaptability, and the spirit to face the unknown. Before he drifted to sleep, he smiled at the glowing lights of the planet below. The universe was vast, full of wonders and dangers alike. But humans were special, and with allies like Lyra, they could face anything. And as the soft hum of the station lulled him into rest, Alex thought of the glowing mattress, the floating tools, and Lyra's gentle laughter. He realized one final truth. Humans could inspire even the most precise and logical of beings. Humans could survive. Humans could shine, and Alex was ready to continue proving it. Tomorrow and every day after that.